Well, everyone, the iPad SE first generation, if you kind of want to think about it like that, could end up being an iPad Apple ends up making. Now, this is going to be something that's very, very interesting because when we're looking at the iPads that Apple currently is selling, there's a lot of different devices that Apple sells, right? We have the cheapest iPad, 10th generation, and we can go all the way up to the main base iPad that Apple makes, all the way up to their iPad Pros. Now, they just went through and made that iPad mini 7, which I think is a great choice. I think it's really, really cool. However, there is a very high likelihood that when you look at something like the iPad SE, this could be an iPad that Apple could end up making beyond something than just even an iPad 11 generation. Now, what I kind of think Apple can end up doing here and what it could look like is that in the next year or so, Apple could end up making an iPad that is essentially going to be some sort of a cheap budget iPad that may look either something like an iPad 9 or an iPad 10, and it's going to live at a probably like $299 or $349 price tag. Currently, the iPad 10th generation I think is at a really, really good price. That iPad really does not cost that much money, and it's gone down in value so much at $349 that I do think that it's a really good price. But when you look at what Apple's basically done with their main, iPhone lineup, with their Apple Watch lineup, they have an SE lineup and an SE, device for all those particular devices. They don't have a MacBook SE, they don't have an AirPod SE just yet, but for their iPad, this could be another continuation of them going through and creating another SE lineup for these types of devices. And I genuinely do think this is a very smart thing for Apple to do. For them to go ahead and remove that numerical number that they have, like the iPad 10, iPad 11, iPad 12, I think it's still great if they keep it, but I think it would make a lot more sense for them to go ahead and start shelving out those SE lineups. And the reason for that is because they don't refresh these SE lineups every single year. They refresh it every couple of years whenever they want to. And they kind of do the same thing with all their iPads, right? They kind of do the same thing with the iPad minis, the iPad Airs, and the iPad Pros. They don't necessarily refresh them every single year. And I do think by them having a numerical number with these iPads, unlike their iPhones, I feel like it would make a lot more sense for them to go ahead and not have a number associated with it, from just like the iPad 10, iPad 11. I think the SE lineup and moniker would suit the iPad 10 series and the baseline iPads very, very well. When you look at the iPhones, right, the iPhone 14, 15, 16, those have numbers, but they're refreshed every single year, so it kind of makes sense. If you're not really refreshing the iPad every single year, I feel like it would make a lot more sense, especially for those baseline iPads, to have that, SE moniker. That way every single iPad can have a little bit more room to breathe. And then you kind of make sense like, oh, the SE is going to be the cheaper one, the Pro is going to be the more expensive one. I think that'd be a really, really good thing for Apple to do. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.